Welcome to our 2024 annual tour. Each year, my friend Rick and I go on a trip to Europe or somewhere in the UK.
I'm going left here. Yes, pretty amazing fun night.
This year a friend kindly offered us accommodation on the Isle of Man for the TT race. It would have been rude to refuse. I'm Lawrence and I'm riding my beautiful Ducati Multistrada 1200S DVT. My friend Rick is riding his BMW K1200RS. Both these bikes are ideal for this sort of tour, where we expect a wide range of roads from smooth motorway to twisty mountain tracks. We left Liverpool at about 10:30 in the evening, had a meal and a few pints, and then, after what felt like about an hour's sleep, we were in Belfast and off the ferry at 6:45 the following morning. After the early start, there was only one thing to do: Mackie D's for breakfast McMuffins and coffee in Carrickfergus. After breakfast, it was on to the glorious Northern Ireland coast road. Our first stop was at the Bushmills Distillery for a tour and a taste. Then it was on to Joey's Bar in Ballymoney. We had a pint of Guinness, bought some souvenirs and watched the TT on TV before riding on to pay our respects at the cemetery where Joey Dunlop and many others of his family are buried. That night we stayed in Londonderry before setting off next morning to Ireland and the amazing wild Atlantic Way. Rick spotted an inconspicuous signpost to a scenic route. Well, it was a fantastic detour up to Horn Head and the most spectacular view of the tour by far.
Right, stay there, bud. Don't fall down the mountain, please.
we spotted this wreck from the road and walked out to it. It was rather a sad sight, slowly decaying on the beach, and I doubt the wood will survive many more storms. The lovely couple who run the coffee shop at the beach told us that the owner of the boat beached it in order to repair it, but then, following a messy divorce, which split all of his assets, left it there for his wife to collect. She never did.
Okie doke. Yep. Louis came back from the Broadmasters Festival in Cornwall and he announced that one of his friends had tested positive there.
Last stop of the day before reaching Sligo was Mullermore, the small town where Louis Mountbatten was assassinated in 1979 at the height of the Northern Ireland Troubles. It's well worth having a look at Wikipedia to learn a bit more about his life and subsequent allegations, but also about those who were tragically killed with him when his boat was destroyed by a bomb planted by the IRA. Mountbatten's stately home looks over the town, and the gateposts still carry his monogram. And so on to our accommodation for the night at the delightful coach house in Ballintoga, just outside Sligo. We ate in the pub over the road and then watched Madrid beat Dortmund in the UEFA Champions League final. Sunday morning, and it was a fast 2.5-hour ride back to Belfast to catch the ferry for the main event, the Isle of Man TT races.
Right, sat nav, still trying to find where it is. It's saying 62 miles.
We arrived at Sarah and Stephen's beautiful home in the Isle of Man on Sunday evening. We can't thank you guys enough for your kindness and generosity. You really made our first TT truly memorable. Monday was a rest day for the racing, so Rick and I set out to ride around the circuit. Famous mountain section. During the racing it's one way only, and as Mad Sunday no longer happens, this has made the event much safer for visitors.
A good little block, and nice and safe as well really, isn't it? You know, being one way. Yeah, right, you can have to.
About halfway round the course from where we joined, we reached the grandstand in Douglas, where the teams and all the activities are centred. We stopped to take a look around and see all the maintenance and preparation for the following day's racing.
Yeah.
So, back in the late 1950s, my dad and two other business partners set up a trout farm near to Laxi. I found a newspaper article that recorded their endeavours and decided that I wanted to find if there was any evidence of their work. That's my dad standing on the right hand side of the photograph. You can see that what they built in the 50s is still there today. I was delighted to find that the farm is thriving under Manx government management and supplies all of the Manx trout fisheries. My dad would have been so proud to have seen this.
That's the size they are now. And my son will be fascinated because he's a... we'll get one for free. Yeah. He's a very keen fly fisherman. Right.
From the first feed, for 760-degree days, they're fed the food with testosterone in it. So that for that number of days, it's just enough to make them, when they mature, to develop male internal organs. Going to change. You gotta come in.
Yeah.
These are all in there.
Small, aren't they?
Yeah.
What sort of weight are those then?
These are pushing about £1.5, maybe
Oh,
maybe about £2, some of them now.
And these are rainbow trout, yeah?
So yeah, these are. We just thought we'd see if there's any ready.
Slippery little suckers.
Yeah, so that's a female, but because it's had the testosterone as a youngster,
Yeah.
you can see the colours are different. It's got the jaw.
Yeah. That's as big as they get, pretty much, is
We
it?
could get them bigger than that if we want to. Yeah, we wouldn't keep any bigger than that.
So how much will that one weigh?
That could be
4 pounds?
12, 10,
Oh, more
12
than that.
pounds, yeah.
Oh yeah, at least.
So,
Is that the biggest you've got?
Thank you so much, Brian, for taking the time to show us around. This was absolutely the high point of my visit to the Isle of Man. Finishing the course, we took ourselves to the very pretty little castle town for a coffee before heading back to Sarah and Stephen's.
Nice little Costa behind us, maybe.
Tuesday dawned with heavy rain, so it was a morning of Netflix, and then we headed over to Port Erin in the afternoon. Practice laps and racing were forecast for the evening, so we headed to a spot, settled ourselves down and waited. Wednesday morning dawned bright and sunny with the promise of a full day's racing, so we took ourselves back to the same vantage point and waited for the Super Twin race to begin. And this is Michael Dunlop on his historic all-time greatest 27th TT winning lap. Rain after the Super Twin race brought the day's racing to an end. We headed back to Sarah and Stephen's to load the bikes and head for home. It was a fantastic week of touring and then the TT experience. Thanks so much to Sarah and Stephen for being the most fantastic hosts.